on the fly.
This is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports and Sierra Santos.
Hey, Monty, Jay was 2 of 20 from 3 coming into this game. We knew he was going to keep shooting. He had a huge game today. Just your thoughts on the way that he played and bounced back?
I mean, we just made a decision to just have a let-it-fly mentality. You know, that was one of the things we talked about in pregame. We listed 4 things. We didn't even touch the film. We talked about how we want to play. And one of those categories was let it fly. And when you have that mentality, you put up with some shots you may not want in certain environments, but I think guys have to play free. We can't get to this moment and start to change our game, get tight, worry about the consequences. I wanted our guys to be free, and that was my message in one of the categories that they might not even remember, knowing knowing our guys, but that's what we told them, and Jay took it to heart. He had a really good session yesterday, shooting the ball. The day before that, he was a little down. Yesterday, he came in, he had a better spirit, and today, he let it fly, and it helped us win the game.
Next up is Sierra Santos with Fox 10, followed by Greg Moore.
You said over the weekend that you wanted your role players and your bench guys to come out and improve. What can you say about their performance today?
Well, I think, offensively, you don't necessarily see like a huge number, but defensively, I thought they were sound. I just thought the abandon we played with on defense, I thought the ability to get back into the paint and get hands on balls and get rebounds helped us, and that group was pretty good. They in a game like this, playing against that kind of team with the championship pedigree, you're going to make mistakes, but I thought even when the bench made mistakes tonight, they stayed with it. And it's huge for us to be able to bring those guys in and not have a drop-off in our juice and our energy.
We have time for 3 more. Next up is going to be Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic, and then Tristan Suso.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on the win. Thank you for fielding so many questions. Greg Moore, Arizona Republic, obviously. Hey, can you just assess for me, please, your team's toughness, intangibles, attitude, body language, and mostly poise, given how tense the game got at times today versus other games in the series?
Yeah, one of the things we said before the game, another category, we talked about being relentless, but it wasn't the type of relentless that you would think of. It was relentless with our energy and focus on the game and not all the extracurricular stuff that had been taking our attention and energy. And we just said we're going to have relentless focus, relentless poise. And even at the end where we had the game won, our guys were talking about the game. Don't say anything crazy, don't get caught up in any of the shenanigans, because we don't want to mess with the game. We respect our opponent. They deserve our attention and focus, and we have to give all of our energies to winning the game. And all the other stuff, we just have to leave it alone.
We have time for 2 more. Next is Tristan Suso with 12 News. Final question will be Melissa Rowland.
Hey, Monty, there's been a narrative kind of floating around since last game. I saw it pop up a little bit tonight, albeit mostly among Laker fans, but it's that the Suns are a dirty team. Knowing the character of your guys, your own character, do you feel the need to respond or defend the team from that kind of narrative?
I don't, and I'll never respond to narratives because that's what they are. We know the kinds of guys that we've brought in. We know the kind of people and the integrity of our players and our organization, and we're not going to field any questions or even give it any attention when people say that kind of stuff, those kinds of things about us. I'll go with these guys anywhere and defend who they are as people and who they are as players. And we're not going to let any narrative take our focus off of trying to win games.
Final question is Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports.
Hey, Marnie, how much has Chris Paul's gutsiness and the pain that he's playing through just kind of like inspired everyone around him to become like a rallying cry of sorts for your team throughout this series?
Well, his diligence in how he goes about his work every day has inspired our guys. I mean, a lot of guys have changed how they work out, how they eat, just being around Chris. But then when you see him in a situation like this, where we were, close to sitting him down, and to be in that conversation, if our guys could have seen that conversation and seen the intention and the emotion that went into that conversation, it would have given us even more juice today. I had to look him in the eyes, he had to look me in the eyes, and we had to come to a decision, and James was right there, and we all just agreed to trust the player. And I have to trust his will and his experience and the things he's done over the course of his career. He's trained to be in these moments. And my final thought was, I don't want to be the one that takes that away from him. That was, the lasting thing that I was thinking about, like, who am I to take that away from him? He's worked his tail off for years to be in this moment, and I don't want to be the doofus coach to take that away.
Thank you very much for your time, Coach.
Yep.
This first round series between the Suns and Lakers is tied at 2 games apiece, and our post-game coverage continues on Playoff Central Live with player press conferences, including LeBron James. Anthony Davis's health. Let's listen in.
Hey, Frank, what do you know about Anthony Davis at this point?
Yeah, he has a strained groin, and is undergoing further medical evaluation, and we'll have more information tomorrow.
Was there any discussion at halftime of him playing, or was it clear that he was not going to be able to return?
It was not clear to me until into the third quarter that he was not going to return. He was undergoing an evaluation. We knew that, and when I didn't see him come out to third quarter, we knew it was going to be a little more time, and then shortly into the third quarter, I was told that he was out.
He grabbed that left leg.
And then, Frank, how did you see that impact the game, especially in that third quarter? Offense, defense, mindset, mental, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, he's one of the best players in the world, so you have to adjust. And I thought we gave great effort in trying to overcome that loss, but certainly wasn't enough.
This was him walking.
You worked on there, Allie.
Hey, Frank. Offensively, what were you looking for without AD, and were you able to find it tonight?
We're looking to score the ball. And there's a lot of ways that we play. The personnel skill set of the guys we have out there. Obviously, a lot of it is through Bron. We played with the roller with Drum, looked for a spark with Trez. We spaced the floor with Mark, and we just didn't get enough offensive output in that second half.
Frank, prior to the groin for AD, what did you make of his 19 minutes in the first half?
Yeah, I thought he was laboring a little bit. He was saying that his knee was sore, but there was no way he was not going to play. And I thought he gave a heck of a run at it, trying to compete through pain. And then obviously he came out with the groin injury.
Let's just say he is at that level going into Game 5. Is that a go for you, or is it?
Yeah, we'll make all these decisions over the next couple of days.
Good.
Frank, what do you think you guys learned in that stretch in February and March when you did not have AD but did have LeBron? You struggled a little bit in those first games afterward, but then it seemed like you figured something out before LeBron had his own injury. How do you think it might look going forward if he's not in?
Yeah, when I competed against the Miami Heat, and either Wade or Bosh was out, and there was more touches for Bron, that wasn't always necessarily a good thing for my Pacers teams. So it's just going to be more opportunity for Bron, and obviously we need other guys to step up. Not one other guy, but everybody. It's got to be a group effort. We need contributions from everyone, and we did have a stretch like this where we played without AD that we'll draw on, to take us into Game 5 if AD's not available.
Hey Frank, touching a little bit more on that, you talked in the series about the formula of
leaning on LeBron and AD on the offense and needing the role players to kind of be more defensively focused. Does that shift now? I mean, are you asking for more? Do you ask for the same things? How's that go mentally for your other guys?
Yeah, I mean, if all of our players, if they play within the system, they can execute and they can give offensive output. So, that's what we're going to ask of our guys. And obviously, you look at deeper into your bench, to see if if there's other guys that are more needed now with AD out, if he's out for Game 5, and you make those decisions accordingly.
Sorry, last question, Rashawn.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, AD very important to what you do. Chris Paul very important to what they do. How do you see the significance of that sort of play out in the third quarter with him not being able to come back out, but then Chris started to get going there for them as well? Yeah,
I mean, obviously it hurt us, and Chris competing through his injury, played his best game of the series. So obviously that was the difference that third quarter.
And did you say there was going to be was there going to be any type of imaging tomorrow, like an MRI or anything like that?
He's undergoing further.
Marc Gasol added 10 points off the bench, but he's also answering questions about AD.
Hey, Mark, obviously AD makes a big difference, but how much did losing him and having to adjust on the fly, both mentally and physically, would you say factored into this one starting there in the second half?
Obviously, you miss a guy like AD, you center, a lot of your offense around him. But I'm sorry, to me, that's not enough. We have to, next man up mentality, like we always say. I know it sounds cliche, but that's the truth. We still got to execute whatever we're doing on the floor, defensively, offensively. Take more control of the game, dominate physically. Communicate, all the things, all the little things that goes by possession that you need to do in order to win playoff games.
Heading into that fourth, Frank did tell Rachel Nichols that understanding as a team that you do have enough will be key. And I know the regular season was the regular season, Mark, and it's different than postseason, but you guys had to play a stretch without him and not knowing how long or if you have to play more without him. Can you lean on those moments right now? And if so, what does that look like? There's
plenty of confidence that we have enough to win. Yeah. Without AD, that's not even a question for anybody in the locker room. So, obviously, you lose it in the moment of the game. That kind of can get your mind off track a little bit for some people. Hope it shouldn't, though. I don't know if that was the case, to be honest. I don't know if that was AD with AD or without AD. But we just got to keep playing. That's as simple as that.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
So Kyle Goon, please.
Hey, Mark, in that third quarter, you guys only scored 15 points. I was wondering, in your view, especially offensively, what happened? Were you guys sped up at all? What was the thing?
I think the opposite, right? We need to be a little more sped up offensively, have a little more pop. The ball is going to move better. Screener is going to be better. Separation from the action once the screen happens, whatever, if you show roll or pop or roll, whatever that you got to do, you have to do it at a pace where you're taking the lead and you kind of imposing your will on the game. The ball got to move a little faster. We got to run, to the spacing that we're looking for. And continue to make plays. You miss a couple shots, it doesn't matter. You next play, you gotta get a stop, and that's how it should be. Whatever happens offensively, defensively should not impact the next possession. So we just gotta continue to be strong-minded and next play.
Jovan?
Hey, Mark, you guys obviously played about half the season without AD. So if it comes down to him missing potentially a game or so, what did you learn about the team during that stretch without him and kind of the stylistic differences of when he's on the floor versus when he's off?
More movement. It's going to be probably more LeBron, which is not a bad thing by any means. More space for the rollers, more space for the drivers. But At the same time, defensively, it's such an important piece for us. He can do a lot of things defensively that, no one else can do. But, with communication, with effort, and being at the right place at the right time, we can do a lot more things defensively than we did tonight. And we need to continue to do those in order to win Game 5, which is the only thing that really matters right now.
Jay Crowder also at the podium after dropping 17-7 for the Suns.
Yeah, Jay, just a couple of things, just real quick. First, obviously, the way the game ended, Game 3 ended, that wasn't true the way you wanted to go out. And then Coach talked about you really, dealing with the shooting and everything. But how nice was it to respond the way you did today, and then have that huge 3 where they could have cut to 5 and missed a layup. You get a 3 and you're up 10, basically under a minute and a half left.
Well, everything's been a little off kilter here because of our point guard, honestly. It's not an excuse. That's just us having to adjust on the fly, in a sense. And, my shots and things are coming different. Our offense is clicking different when he's not on the court. So we have to adjust and be prepared to play without him, even though we wanted him to play very badly, because you see what he can do. But it's just a matter of adjusting. I've been here before. I've been in slumps before, and I just stay even keel. Lean on my teammates, and that's what I want my teammates to do. That's what I want to be for my teammates. Someone they can lean on when things get tough, and my teammates are there for me throughout the first few games, and just got to stay even keel throughout this whole thing because it's a long series.
Next up is going to be Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, followed by Greg Moore.
Hey Jay, to what you just said about this being a long series, how'd you like the team's response in terms of getting back to the way you guys play on both ends of the floor?
Liked it a lot. That's what we have to do. Obviously, we had spurts there in the second half of last game that we took from that and just tried to amplify it for the whole game. And just trying to do what we do on both ends of the court and play free, but at the same time have a game plan behind it. And I think we executed the game plan well, and we played together and responded well. When those guys went on runs, I felt like we responded the right way, and that's what it's all about.
Next up is Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic, followed by Tristan Sousa.
Jay, good to see you. Congratulations on the win. And to echo Dwayne, it was a huge shot at the end. I'd like to know about your responses to those little playoff moments, where guys are pushing and shoving and doing all that little stuff after the whistle, whatever. You guys seem to stand up differently today than you did in previous games. Can you tell me about that, please?
We've just been preaching poise. Playoff basketball sometimes may rattle you, may get you excited, may get you angry. You just got to stay even keel and stay poised. And we've been talking about it the past few days. Just have our poise. Trash talking, take it on the court, take it between the lines, and take it to them. Don't buy into all of the other stuff, all of the antics. Just continue to play hard, continue to stay focused, and play with poise. And I think we showed that today, especially when it's going to be scrums, it's going to be battles, it's going to be heated moments. But we got to stay even keel, and we got to have each other back and stay poised. And I think today we showed that.
Next up is Tristan Sousa with 12 News, followed by Nick King.
Hey Jay, just kind of going off of that, definitely showed a lot of poise tonight, but ever since Game 3, there's been a lot of comments and sort of a narrative that started that the Suns are a dirty team, and that's mostly coming from the Lakers sides of things. But just knowing the character of players and who you guys are, do you feel the need to defend yourselves from comments like that?
No, I don't feel like we need to respond to it. They have an opinion. That's their opinion. This is what it is. Obviously, we're playing the game to win the game. We're not trying to hurt anyone or do anything like that. But it's a physical style play. It's a physical brand of basketball that both teams are imposing their will on. So we're not complaining when they do stuff to us. But so we're just trying to play basketball at the end of the day and trying to keep it clean and play basketball, because we know playing dirty and playing whatever they think we're playing is not going to get us wins at the end of the day. So we're not playing the game. We're not out to get anyone. We're just trying to play basketball, play with a physical mindset, and impose our will more times than they do.
Time for 3 more. Next up is Nick King with Channel 3, Channel 5, followed by Gina Mizell.
Jay, what kind of emotional impact do you think it had seeing Chris look a lot more like Chris Paul?
I mean, everything clicks a little better with 3 on the court and 3 being himself. That's vocally, that's him being vocal with our units. That's him making plays with with the ball in his hands. And I feel like we feed off of that. Obviously, he's a big part of the puzzle, like I've been saying all year. He's a key part of our puzzle. So it's a little challenging when we don't have him doing things that he normally does. So it is what it is. We made it to this point. Hopefully, we got a few days to get home tonight, get some treatment, and get ready for Game 5. So it's definitely key that he's out there, monumental that he's out there for our unit, for our team.
Chris Paul, questionable ahead of this game, drops 18 points in 31 minutes, dishes 9 assists as well. Here he is.
Probably wasn't that tame a language in the conversation, but what was that like, and what point were you trying to really stress to them that, hey, let me play?
Just understand it was an afternoon game, and I have a couple more days of rest. That's the only way they say I can treat what's going on is to be rested. And so I'm just glad me and Coach got that relationship where we can have that conversation, and we talked about it. And I told the guys, I said, I don't know if it'll be 2 minutes, I don't know if it'll be 32 minutes, but I feel like I got to try to give you what I got.
Next up is Cameron Cox with 12 News, followed by Kellen Wilson.
How good did it feel to yell, "I'm back," after you hit that signature shot of yours?
I don't know if I yelled it or if Langston Galloway yelled it, but it felt good, man. You work all summer, all season to get here, and to not be able to give your team, what you want to give them, and to have them out there sort of guarding you, knowing you somewhat less than. It was good. It was a good feeling to just be out there and compete.
Next, we're going to go to Sierra Santos with Fox 10, followed by Greg Moore.
Did your body surprise you at all with the way it responded today? And how much do you appreciate the rest of your team getting so fired up when you start getting on a roll?
Man, I appreciate it. Somewhat surprised. I hadn't touched a basketball or anything since the last game. I just said I got arrested. So the first time shooting was a little bit right before the game and in the game. So our team is really a team. And Mikal Bridges said it after the game. We didn't have guys that miss a lot of games this season, so we're used to playing a certain way. And so if I'm not out there able to be me, then our team looks totally different. So I was just happy that I could help.
Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic. He'll be followed by Melissa Rowland.
Chris, good to see you. Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. Congratulations on the win. For me, I noticed sometime in the second quarter, maybe that game could have gone either way. I feel like there were some reserves out there on the floor, and the Lakers started to push the lead just a little bit. And you guys responded. And for me, that was when I was like, man, I think you guys are about to stand up a little bit differently. Did you have a moment where you kind of recognized that you guys were going to stand up differently today than you had in previous games?
Yeah, they made a little run there, and I was on the court, and I'm thinking to myself, never doubt myself, but I'm like, damn, it's on me. I'm out here, and then Coach, I know what you're talking about. Coach subbed in Book and Jay. We made a few shots, and it was like, okay, we here, and then from there on, we started getting stops. Once I got a couple shots to fall, and we started playing with pace. We felt like we had it.
There's going to be emotional plays. There's going to be arguing. Next up is Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports, followed by Catherine Fitzgerald.
Chris, did you ever really consider today? And then also throughout the game, did your shoulders just start feeling better and better?
I don't know. Man, there was a lot of conversation before the game. After I talked to Coach, said, give me a minute. Went and called my brother and my team, sort of talked about it. And it's like, look, man, I went and talked to Book, talked to Jay, and I told him, I said, I don't know how long it's going to be, but I told them, I said, if y'all feel like I'm out here looking like some trash, just tell me and I get out. I get out. So I at least had to, like I said, see what I could do.
Next is Catherine Fitzgerald with the Arizona Republic, and final question will be Nicole Jorina.
Chris, how are you feeling off this game physically?
I'm good.
Final question is going to be Nicole Jarena from Puerto Rico.
Hi, Chris. Gracias for the win. I'm really happy because of your work. What is your balance with facing your friend LeBron for the first time in playoff at this point of the series?
It's crazy. I mean, we family, and all these years of playing against each other, basically cheering each other on throughout the playoffs. Like, he was in the East, I was in the West, you know, talking after playoff games and stuff all the time. It's different competing against each other, but probably nobody knows my game better than him, and same way with me knowing him. So
excited are you to return back home to Phoenix with this series all tied up, and what's your message for Suns fans?
The question broke up a little bit. I think you asked about coming back to Phoenix 2-2.
Yeah, just with it all tied up, and just what's your message with like Suns fans and stuff?
I'm looking forward to it, man. I just hit my socials and said back to the desert. You know, I know we got an extra 5,000 in there from last game. And it's something we're really looking forward to. You know, it's the atmosphere that we've been around. It's the atmosphere that this organization and this fan base and this city's been waiting on. So, you know, the first two games, you know, it felt like it was full house already. You know, so with the addition of 5,000 more, I'm sure it's going to be jumping in there.
All right, next up is going to be Christos Saltas from Greece, followed by Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Devin, great game. Congratulations on the win, first of all. My question to you is, what kind of inspiration for you is Chris Paul and the way that he leads on the court for your team? And what it means, that reaction, that response after the two straight losses against the Lakers?
What was the second question about? You said two straight losses?
About the way that you responded tonight after two straight losses against the Lakers.
I mean, I'm proud of our team. You know, we've had 2 days off, and we spent both days in the gym just decompressing and having conversation, and you know, not taking it too serious. You know, trying to keep our gym the same as it's been during the regular season. And I think that was really important for us, understanding that it's called the series for a reason. Every game has its own different personality. I think there's going to be highs and lows throughout. You know, there's going to be emotional plays. There's going to be arguing. There's going to be a lot of extra to it. But just having a quick memory, getting over your last loss and moving on to the next game. And I'm proud of our team for, you know, a lot of us, this being our first experience out there, you know, having the mental ability to do that.
Next up will be Dwayne Rankin from the Arizona Republic, followed by Kellen Olson.
Yeah, Devin, just two quick things. One, how do you sense this game can carry over into Game 5? And then two, you know, getting contributions like you guys got today from Mikal and Jay, who hadn't been given that offensive production going into Game 4. What was that like, seeing the other guys, you know, I don't want to call them others in that sense, but you get what I'm saying, being able to play the way they did?
Yeah. I mean, that's what you need. You know, it's the playoffs. You know, you have to play well as a team to win. Big teams know your plays. They know what you've done all year. They know your first, second, and third option. So it comes down to just being able to play and having the correct spacing and executing. Them guys still, you know, I've had confidence, and, you know, same with myself. You know, I haven't shot the ball like I wanted, but you move on to the next play and you understand what the goal is. And, you know, that's to win the game, you know, no matter how the shots are going. You know, your next shot is the most important one. And Jay and Mikal stepped up big in that regard today. I think that's good energy moving into the next round.
Quick follow.
Sorry about that, Dwayne. Go ahead.
You're fine. No, Devin, obviously, much is always made of offense, but defensively, you guys were all over the place. LeBron had like 6 turnovers. What do you think you guys did well on that end to get this win?
I think we just play without fouling. You know, the past couple games, you know, there's been some calls that slowed down our game. You know, if you're taking it out from the free throw, you know, every possession, it gives them a chance to set their defense. So, you know, just playing without fouling, you know, getting the ball out and playing in transition, you know, how we've been playing most of the year.
Next up is going to be Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, followed by Greg Moore.
Hey, Book, with the way they've been defending you in this series, it would be easy for a lot of guys in a game like today to force every single look you get, but you were still looking to get your teammates involved through point 5. How important was it for you to maintain that mentality despite the way, like you said, you've been shooting the ball so far?
Yeah, just, understanding what the defense is trying to do. If they're heavy shifts and have 2 or 3 people focus on the ball, we have a great team that can make other plays for other people. I think you've seen that with the big 3 that Mikal hit on the 3 late in the game. These guys are shifting all the way over to, the free throw line, trying to stop penetration. And that's fine with me. I'm fine with getting off the ball and trusting my teammates. We have some players over here, and I'm excited. We hit some big shots and created some big shots.
Next up will be Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic.
Thank you, Devin. Good to see you, man. Congratulations on the win. What was going through your mind, man? Midway through the second quarter, the Lakers started to make a little bit of a surge, and then you guys really pushed back. And for me watching it, I said, okay, it looks like the Suns are going to stand up differently today than they did in previous games. But what was going through your mind at that point?
Win the game. That's on my mind, the whole entire game. And understanding it's a long game. I understand it's the playoffs and it's very emotional, but, you can see when the league gets to 5 to 10 either way, a lot of emotions come out, but just stay level. That's what we've been doing the whole season. There's 4 quarters for a reason. No game has ever ended at halftime. And just having an understanding of that, the next play mentality. And just control what you can control with the officials and, try to not put too much energy to them in that regard and move to the next play.
Our last question is going to be with Kirsten Strussel with 12 News.
Hey, Book. Wondering if you got any sense of the mental grind this series has been for Chris, just on any given night, not knowing how long he's going to play, what he's going to play like, et cetera?
It's contagious. Even when the injury first happened, seeing him on the ground and, seeing the emotion in his face, hearing the emotion in his voice, you understand somebody that's, put in, countless numbers of hours into his craft to, perform at this time and at this level. And, for something that he can't control to be holding him back, I know, has been bothering him. So to see him progress every day, see his mental, his energy clean up. And today, I think every second or every minute, it's getting better. So just see him still keep his spirit high and relay those messages.